But it was funny because I tried to get like a scratch repair because it was a used game. I got it with my Wii. Um, they had this like scratch repair paste at Movie Gallery. I put it on it. It just made the whole bottom crusty. And I was like, this shit doesn't work. We paid like $8 for it. It's it's just toothpaste.
If you like what we're doing here, make sure to give us a positive rating on iTunes, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to this show. Also, make sure to check out the YouTube channel at youtube.com/thatoneandrew, where full recordings of this podcast are posted along with a plethora of other videos. We now also have our very own Patreon, so if you would like to support us monetarily, head over to patreon.com/thatoneandrew. Check it out today, and thank you for listening. Now, on to the show. Greetings, all. Welcome to the Gaming Block Podcast, the number one podcast for all the pertinent video game news spanning across all platforms, including Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and more. I am your host, Andrew Rana, and today I'm joined by one half of the bad boys of video games, Jacob Ward. On this week's episode, we will be discussing Xbox backtracking on a recent price hike, a rumored Knights of the Old Republic game being in development, Vicarious Visions no longer making their own games, all of the Resident Evil news from a showcase, and much more. But before we get into all that, tradition dictates I ask my guest how their previous week has been. Jake, we're here without Roger. He has big boy stuff to do.
Yeah,
So,
if that's what you want to call it, yeah.
yeah, hopefully he'll be on the next episode, but he's not here today. Um, how's your
Sad.
week been?
It's been okay. Slept a lot, didn't sleep a lot.
Yeah,
Played some games.
I tell you what, I've played a lot of games this week,
Uh-huh.
like more than I usually have, and
And
it's
every time we
been,
go in the living room, you're playing a different game.
I know, right? It's been nice to just like not have to worry about anything, and I think it's because I have more free time now. Obviously, that would correlate to more gaming time,
Hmm.
but I don't feel committed to playing just one game right now. Even though I do have games like Yakuza that I've been playing for a while, I don't feel like I'm tied down to it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll start this game, play a little bit of it, and then I'll go to this game, you know?
It's kind of the mood I've been into. I mean, I was doing Gravity Rush 2 and then hopped over to Ghost of Tsushima, and then now I'm playing a bit of Killzone on PlayStation Now.
You got a lot of Ghost of Tsushima done. You're like
Hmm.
halfway through the game.
I'd say so. I got the first part of the island liberated, and now I'm like just kind of working on the second part of the map.
Uh huh. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that grind. I think the most efficient way to go about it is just go do all the like bases and then worry about doing the map.
Yeah.
Because like if I would have known those occupied spaces would have popped up afterwards, I think the whole map of the first part of the island would have been filled from just those.
Yeah, probably. Um, yeah, it is kind of daunting when you're playing Ghost of Tsushima and you're a completionist like we are, and you do the whole first island, you do all the side quests, you're like, okay, I did it all, it's done, and it's like, okay, round two,
Yeah, because
act
like
two.
here's I know I was like I knew this whole island was coming, but like there's so much.
It's a lot bigger than it looks.
It's very dense.
Very dense, very dense. Very good
I
game though.
I'm gonna platinum it though. That's my plan. Every game I play now, I'm gonna platinum unless it has stupid trophies. Then I'm not gonna do it.
It's a fun platinum. I'm not that way. I've never been that way where I'm gonna platinum every game I play just because I inherently play too many games. But if there's a game I like a lot, I'll platinum it, of course. Yakuza, you
I
know.
think it's gonna be just like mostly modern games. I'm gonna try to platinum. Nothing like PS3 games where it's like they got these stupid ones that are like get 10,000 points, and it's like, oh, I gotta play like
The
100 hours to get that.
I think it was correct me if I'm wrong, anyone listening. I can't remember. It was either Resistance or Killzone. But it was one of those games that first got trophy support because PlayStation 3 launched without trophies, and then they saw
Mhm.
Microsoft was doing achievements. They're like, "Oh, we should do that." And then they made, quite frankly, I think better system because I think the platinum trophy is cooler than the 1,000 gamer points because it actually shows like a number And I think on Xbox they do have like a completed number 2, don't they?
They don't have like an achievement you get for it, but I think they like
No, but
put
they'll
something
tell you
next to
like
it that it's done.
yeah,
Or like I think
yeah.
they just like have a 100% next to it. Like it's just
Yeah.
like the percentage counter like on PlayStation if I remember right, but
I
you
like
know.
the trophy system better. I
Mhm.
like gold trophies, silver, bronze, and then of course the
It,
platinum better.
Microsoft has tried to give tiered achievements. Like they have the regular achievement pops, and then for ones that have a very low percentage, you get a like a
Yeah,
diamond, and then like.
I've noticed that, but the problem is
But the thing is, all of the achievements I usually
when new games come out,
all the achievements I usually get on Xbox have are a diamond achievement.
yeah, because either A, no one gets it, or B, you're playing a new game. Like it happens every time a new game comes out. It's just it's not updated enough or anything, so everything's diamond.
You know what the saddest shit is?
Hmm.
Every time I've played through Halo on the Master Chief Collection, every campaign mission is a diamond achievement,
Oh, I believe it. A lot of people get that for just multiplayer.
and I'm like, this is really sad. Like, it's like what most people buy Halo for is the campaign, and they definitely weren't buying it for the multiplayer and the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah,
So,
true, true.
I mean, maybe
Um,
now, but like because they've made it like Fortnite, but
yeah. To quickly backtrack, it was one of those games. I'm pretty sure it was Killzone that they had
uh
a trophy to get 10,000 online kills.
oh, the first one, no,
No, no,
I,
not the
it,
first one.
but
I think it was like the
the
second
second
or the
one.
third one.
Yeah, because I was going through the trophies of the first one, and there's thankfully no online achievements. There's like trophies. There's like three multiplayer trophies, and it's just like get first um, with the AI on hard
They're all
when you're on
AI.
this team. It's like get first when the AI is on hard if you're on the other team, and then it's like get first in a match with another player on your team.
I'm gonna look it up real
So
quick.
like that was it.
I'm gonna put in 10,000 kill trophy. Hmm. Nothing really pops up. Let me put online
The heck kind of research is this?
because I remember. I'm pretty sure it's ah. It was Resistance 2.
Ugh.
10,000 kills in multiplayer. Isn't that absurd?
Wow.
I don't think there's any game. Like even if I like if I played Call of Duty for like 4 years straight, I don't know if I could get 10,000 kills.
Like, I mean, is it like it's a bronze trophy too?
Yeah, 10,000 kills and it's just back then they didn't know trophies. They're like,
Mhm.
what's something that'll keep people playing our game? 10,000 kills, I guess. I
I
don't
bet
know.
you it's like a 0.1 percentage completion on
Oh
that one.
yeah. It's impossible to get now
What?
unless they do uh I want them to do. You remember in PS3 era they had those trilogies like the Jack
Uh-huh.
and Daxter ones and
Yeah,
the
those are so
Killzone
cool.
ones. I
God of
want them
War. And,
I wish they did that for PS4 and I want them to do
mhm,
it for PS5, especially since PS3 is inherently locked. I mean, I know we have PS Now and stuff, but it would be nice to have some form of like 4K 60 FPS, local.
mhm. But honestly, PS Now is not a bad way to experience the PlayStation 3.
It's not. We can get into that a little bit later because I'm glad that you're on this side because so many people have a problem with it, and I think it's
Mhm.
just because their internet sucks.
And honestly,
Like,
like I was kind of not a huge fan of the idea of PlayStation Now for the longest time, and then I just got like a really good deal on it. It's like, oh, I'll try it, and it's like, yeah, this is cool.
yeah.
Like Stadia kind of turned me on to it a little bit,
Yeah, yeah, Stadia. Man,
which my
miss that.
subscription's about to run out.
Miss that platform.
I'm gonna lose all my games.
Why don't we could just go ahead and actually I think you keep your games.
Well, I mean, they're claimed, but like I think I have to have Pro to play them though.
Oh yeah, I think so. We could go ahead though and jump into what we've been playing. So you said you've been playing Killzone, the
Mhm.
original, through PS Now.
I've gotten a decent way through it. I've played it for a couple hours, and I think I'm about halfway through the game. It's not long,
A lot of missions.
and it's no Oscar winning story by any by any means. But I like the kind of old school like crust to it of the early 2000s.
It is very crusty.
The character models look so bad, and they try to put this weird like old school film grain on the cutscenes to make it look better, but it just makes it look worse somehow.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's like I don't. It's like they saw Halo and was like, we can do that, but we don't write stories.
I was thinking about it, and I know you just said Halo, which Halo does have a good story to it.
Mhm.
Oh, it was just I'm about to go off on a tangent, so if you want to say it real
Okay.
quick.
I was gonna say, like, the AI in that game, like, is also really dumb. They just kinda stand there
Mhm.
and wait for you to come to them, and, they don't really have any sort of tactical nature to them. They just kinda run straight forward in a
Straight
single
line,
file line
like
at
right
you,
at yeah.
or, like, they're either running right at you or just, like, standing in one spot.
Yeah, it's
And
rough.
it's all the same voice clips over and over again.
Ah! Ah!
"Kill him! Ah!"
I've seen you play it a couple times, and I don't know why this popped into my head. And this
Mhm.
is kind of unrelated, but also sort of related. But I was watching you play Killzone, which is a late PS2 game, so probably like 2005 if I had to
I think it's
guess.
2004.
2004. Okay, yeah. So a little, getting there to the PS3, um, mid to late PS2 lifespan, because PS2 came out in 2000, right?
Yeah,
Or
2000.
yeah, yeah.
But I was just gonna say it's hard to believe that that and Halo 2 came out in the same year.
I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
Like, Halo 2 is so much better.
I think that's what makes Halo 2 stand out. And then for whatever reason, I was thinking about Final Fantasy X because that game
Mhm.
came out in 2000, I'm pretty sure. Like I'm pretty sure
Was
that
it
was a
2000?
launch game. It's either 2000 or 2001 when Final Fantasy X
That
came
game
out.
looks so good for 2000.
Yeah. And then also I was thinking again, this is like just completely random thought that popped in my head. And mind you, I am not a Final Fantasy X fan. I've tried playing that game so many times on so many platforms and I just can't do it.
Yeah.
But the scene where, or not even the scene, like the word on the block is that it's just like bad voice acting in that game.
Mhm. But no, it's
Honestly,
purposeful.
well, yeah, like the laugh is purposeful and stuff. The
Mhm.
voice acting isn't like fantastic, but I think for one of the for a game that was like one of the first to have voice acting, because there was voice acting on PS1, but it was few and far between.
Listen,
Um,
listen. There was voice acting in the TurboGrafx 16, okay?
yeah, there
And
was.
and then television when it's like B-52 bomber.
But I was just watching you play Killzone, and I was like, "Wow, the audio sounds terrible. It's so compressed. The
I
voice
don't know
sounds
was
terrible."
like, it sounds like it's PS1 compression. I don't get it.
I think people that made fun of Final Fantasy X, I think that was like an internet thing where
Mhm.
people got on the internet and they had never played PS2 or anything. Like, "Wow, this is terrible compared to Mass Effect and Halo 3 or whatever." It's like you got to kind of go back to the year 2001 and be like, "Oh, this is
Well,
pretty
that's the
damn
thing,
good."
like, pretty much every game that had voice acting, like, it sucked. Like,
Yeah.
if you got a game that had good voice acting, that was, like, rare, and most of the times, if it was good, it was ironically good.
Honestly, I'd
Uh,
say even to this day, like the good
Space!
games that have good voice acting are like,
Mhm,
the games that win awards and stuff.
mhm,
There's still so many games that have just such shitty voice acting, especially like
mhm.
Japanese games. Oh my
Uh,
god.
have you ever seen
So
the voice
bad.
acting in, Hunt Down the Freeman?
Hunt Down the Freeman?
Yeah.
No, is that like a Half-Life thing?
It's, like I don't know what the exact story is behind it, but it's, like, an unofficial, uh, like, sequel or prequel to Half-Life, but it's, like, they got, like, the green light from Valve, so I don't know if it's canon or not, but, like, it had a bunch of YouTubers as voice actors, and
Oh no.
it's so bad
Oh, I think
'cause
I heard about this
there was a
actually.
YouTuber I follow that was in it, and he just did it because he was like, "Alright, money."
Uh-huh.
But,
Yeah.
like, they had, like, literally 0 direction as to what was going on in any of the scenes, so they were just
Oh
kinda like,
no.
Say the line like this," and then he was like, "Okay," and then they were like, "Can you do it in an American accent?" And he's like, sure." And he did it once, and he was like, "How's that?" And you're like, "Oh, it's great. Let's do it." I'm like, "Oh, do you don't want me to do another take or anything?" And they're like, "No, no, that's good." And I was like, "Okay."
We're gonna spend more money on you. Goodbye.
Yeah. So it's like there's a lot of it's just watch some clips from that sometime. It's such a
Yeah.
mess.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up. Is there anything else you've been playing?
Um, Other than that, Ghost of Tsushima, I've been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight still. I finally prestiged my Ash
You did
Williams
it.
character.
Woo.
He's all bloody now. It looks like he's straight out of the movie and TV show. I could not stand seeing him without blood on him, or else I couldn't sleep well at night.
I'm
Uh,
glad you got that sorted out.
I did. Now I just have to like deal with the fact I didn't gather any blood points before I prestiged.
Yeah, rookie mistake. It's all right. The second time you do it, you'll have a million saved up.
It's true.
All right, cool.
Um,
Well, I've been playing some games. Like I said earlier, I don't know why, but this week, because I was playing the God of War games, and then
Mhm.
I beat
you
Chains.
like just destroyed those God of War games.
Yeah, so I beat the original, and then I beat or I beat the remake, and then I beat the original, and then I beat
It's not
Chains
a
of
remake.
Olympus.
It's like a soft reboot.
It is a sequel, honestly. Like it is
Mhm.
a sequel. Kind of in context now, I'm kind of upset that they called it God of War. I understand
Yeah,
why they did it because they're trying to say like this is a different tone and stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, this is a
it
sequel,
doesn't make
so
sense. They should have called it God of Four.
no. Um, but I beat Chains of Olympus, and I want to go back. And I want to play the last three that I still need to, or
Hmm.
four, I guess, the last four. But I want to take a break, and I've just been kind of bouncing around through games.
Was there a Vita title for God of War?
No, mm-mm.
Really?
Sony gave up on the Vita too quickly to make a God of War game.
It's kind of crazy how many like of their titles made it onto there, but that didn't.
I know, right? There's a Resistance game on there. There's a Killzone game on there. There's, I'm sure, a lot
Uncharted,
of other Uncharted. Yeah, Uncharted's on there.
and
And
I
you
guess
think God of War had
Gravity
two
Rush
PS3 games?
was pretty big, but it started on the Vita, but then went to PS4.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, PlayStation All Stars was on there. I guess Kratos is technically on the
They
Vita.
also put those trilogy packs on the Vita
Hmm.
as well. So
So you
yeah,
could
it
like
is. It's
it,
surprising.
it's funny you can get the God of War collection on the Vita like you can on the PS3, but it doesn't give you God of War 3. It's just 1 and 2,
Yeah.
which makes sense, but like it's kind of
Hmm.
sad.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. But I took a break from that, and I've been playing some more Yakuza like a dragon. I had pause syndrome where I was like, okay, what the fuck's going on? What am I doing? What's happening in story? Like it's been a month, but I quickly got back into the groove, did a shitload of side quests because that's what the game is. And man, I'm telling you, every time I go back to that game, I'm just like, this game is just pure amazing.
It's
I
just
did a
100%
side
Japan.
quest. It really is, but it's also like 100% Yakuza.
Hmm.
And they've made me it's hard to say this already cuz Kiryu has 7 games on his back, but Ichiban is already starting to be like I'm liking him as a main character a lot because
He's got so much
he's not just Kiryu cuz Kiryu's thing was like he was kind of like dull and he was kind of like the meathead type thing, but he was also
flair.
compassionate and stuff. But like Ichiban, he'll go up to people like, "The fuck are you saying? What the fuck?" and stuff. Like he has his
Mhm.
own personality. I was thinking like, "Oh, Kiru never cursed ever."
Yeah, he's the very likable hothead.
Uh-huh, yeah. And I did this like side mission where I went on a date with a ghost or something, and I was like,
Yeah,
"What
I
the
love that.
fuck?" Like it's just so good, and the story was like, okay, where are they going with this story? Because you're really gonna have to like do something good to get me to care about this. And I just got past chapter 6 or 7, and like something at the end, I was like, God, you got me back. Like, damn it, you pulled me in. I care a lot about this. I want to keep playing. The story's good. It has the potential to be one of the better Yakuza stories because some of the stories are good. Obviously, I think Zero is the best, but some of them are weaker. And I think this one is on the side of like 6 and Zero, which makes sense since
Where
those
would
were
you
the later
put
ones.
Kiru's adventure through Fist of the North Star at?
I don't know. I'd have to play through it.
I honestly really like that game. I need to go back to it, but
I
it's just
I want to
Yakuza
play
but
it
in
too.
Fist of the North Star.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
can literally play as Kiryu if you wanted to. It's the same voice actor and everything.
yeah.
I
I
did,
was watching it. It was
huh?
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I watched it playing.
it's super neat. Like I started watching the original show to kind of get some like background on it. It
Hmm.
immediately just doesn't follow the show really. It kind of just like uses it as a basis
A
and then
template.
kind of makes
Yeah,
its own story like where it kind of skews off from the very beginning of the show.
I like that though.
Mhm. But
Okay. Yeah.
I did want to say though, I sold some people on Yakuza today at work because I showed them that clip of the guy asking it to get to the train station.
Which way to the train station? Go left and then forward. Go, go, go! You can do
Believe in yourself.
it. God,
Oh, thank
yeah.
you.
I love it. Yeah, sell everyone that you know play Yakuza because it's funny. The same thing happened with Persona that happened with Yakuza, but I got onto these bandwagons like right before it became really popular. Like I played Persona 4 Golden, and Persona was popular with Golden. Like that was kind of the quote unquote breakout one. It was like, we sold 300,000 copies, and it was like, whoa, I love this thing now. But then 5 came around, and that's when it actually exploded. And it's the
Joker.
same with Yakuza. Like I started playing Yakuza right before Zero made it to the States, and then it was like kind of went like boom with Zero.
I honestly think it had a lot to do with how they like stylized Persona 5 because it's red, so it pops at you.
Uh-huh.
It's got a very like angsty in your face mood to it. So like I don't know, feel like that's very
I also think it was
popular with the kids
I,
these days.
I think it was word of mouth as well because like people like me have always told everyone about Persona, like, you should play Persona, you should do Persona, Persona, Persona,
They're like,
Persona. It's
wow,
like, okay.
there's
It's
this
like,
Persona
okay, how
game
do
on
I play
console
it?
that's not dead I want to play.
Yeah, it's like, okay, how do I play it? Oh, PS2 or Vita. And
Yeah.
people were like, what the fuck? The PS4 is out. I ain't getting a Vita and I ain't getting a PS2. But then like Persona 5 trailer pops up. It's like, oh, is this Persona thing? Whoa. Like it's so colorful, so stylish, it's so awesome.
The
So
music just keeps getting like better and better with every entry.
oh yeah, that too. It's like
But they all have their own like
style.
feel. Yeah, like they
Yeah.
each one's very distinct. So it's not like each one's bad, but like I think they progressively get better and better. Though
Honestly,
they're
dude, go back
like,
to Persona 2. It has some fucking bangers.
yeah. Well,
Like,
I need to
yeah,
figure out how I can play that game the right way.
PS3. That's honestly probably the best way to play it.
Yeah,
um,
I have the two whatever the PS1 2 game is, Eternal Punishment.
oh yeah, hmm
But that's the
yeah,
sequel.
yeah. So the only way you can play Innocent Sin is actually through the you can play it on Vita through the PSP backwards compatibility thing. Like it's a downloadable title.
Or on my PlayStation TV.
Yeah, there you go. That's how
Only
I play it.
$299.99.
Literally. But other than Yakuza, I played a little bit of Maneater. Fun game. Had a really good opening, and now it's getting kind of like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's getting a little boring. Like it's like, okay, you're a pup, you got to level up. I'm like, I've been doing
Kind
this for an hour. Can
of seeing why it's getting
something
mixed
happen
reviews
to
now.
me? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna keep trying it and see. Like, hopefully, it's just like I'm hoping that it picks up the pace.
Uh-huh. I'm sure
And
when
then
you start like, eating people, it'll get fun.
yeah, yeah. That's what I
Once
want to
you
do
get
is
to the
eat people again.
stuff that was marketed.
You actually do that right away, but then I get spoilers for Maneater. You are a shark and you get to eat people right away, but then you get hunted and killed, but then a baby pops out of you and you play as the baby for the game. So um played a little bit of Bug Snacks, which is first time I played Bug Snacks, and honestly, it's super weird, and I don't know if it's like really bad or like one of the best games I've ever played. Like, because there's something about it, like all the little sound effects and voices out of the controller, and it has like all the HD rumble and shit like that because it's a
Mhm.
launch game. And I was like, I kind of like this. It's so weird.
That's what I've heard. Like everyone who's talked about it, like was saw it and was like, okay, whatever. This game looks stupid, and then played it, and they're like, this game's not bad.
Yeah, it's not
Like,
bad. It's not. And I can
like,
see like it's not long either, so
hmm so you
yeah.
can platinum it.
I could.
You
I
already
might.
got a trophy in it.
I got a few trophies in there. Um and then the last game is Resident Evil 7. Been playing that when friends come over and stuff. And honestly, dude, I had never really given Resident Evil 7 a chance
Mhm.
because I tried it in VR mode and it was just too much for me, it's too scary.
Too
Especially at the
blurry.
beginning when you're in that like little side house or whatever. I'm like, this I gotta stop. But
You
then
can play the whole game
also,
in VR, right?
yeah, the whole
That's
game.
crazy.
Yeah. And then also, whenever I played it, I was one of those people where I was like, this isn't Resident Evil. This is some first person like horror game. It's more akin to Amnesia than Resident Evil.
What is this PT bullshit?
But now, like, we just defeated the mom So we've gone through the dad and we've gone through the mom, and now we're to the son. And honestly, dude, I'm like, okay, this is Resident Evil. Like the puzzles are Resident Evil. The mood is Resident Evil. And it's a resident. Like it's not whatever six was. It's not the continent of Africa. Like it's a house. It's this really weird swamp house that has a ton of little houses around it, but
Welcome to
it's
the
just one
family, son.
place.
It's a
Yeah,
fucking
and
mansion. That's what it is.
it's creepy and it's honestly scary. Like
Mm-hmm.
that part where I
You're in the
handed it off.
garage.
No, not that. When I handed it off to Susan and they're like going through the little girl's room, I was legitimately like, this is terrifying. Like it was getting me. So I'm excited to keep playing that and beat it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are halfway through. I handed it off once or twice because I wanted to be inclusive, but I'll still count that as me beating it. Like that one boss battle, I probably could have easily beat. And then whatever Susan did, I was like, it was like 4 or 5 minutes. So
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun and I'm ready for Village. Like,
that's the thing. Like, I've never really played any of the Resident Evil games except for Zero, but I'm pretty excited for 8 now after watching
oh
people play
man.
the demo.
You should have also, yeah, I guess I also played the demo, the maiden demo, and it was good. I think people are really taking the demo the wrong way because
Big
it does
vampire
say,
lady.
well, that, and then also, it says it's a visual showcase, like not an actual demo. It is a visual showcase. This is to show you 60 FPS, 4K, which it does for the most part. I watched a Digital Foundry video and it did drop frames like in one spot, but it is also like a 5 month demo, like or like
Mhm.
4 months until release demo, so they can fix that and things like that. But I saw people complaining, being like, this is so boring. Nothing happens. This is awful. This game's shit. It's like, dude, that's why they called it a visual showcase. It's not meant to be actiony.
Mhm.
But if you did you see the like deep dive thing that they did?
No.
It's it looks really freaking good, man. Like I got so many RE4 vibes. They brought the merchant back, but he's not the merchant, but he's like this like grotesque, overly sized dude that opens up panels and you're just shop, and then
What are you
you
playing?
you have inventory like in Resident Evil 4 where it's a case and you have to like line the guns up and items up and stuff to make it all fit and things.
Oh,
So
cool.
I'm really excited about
I'm
that. We're
guessing
gonna have some
they
news
did
about
that to
it.
make the Resident Evil 4 remake even easier.
We'll talk about that later,
Knock two
actually.
birds
But
out with one stone.
I'm thinking you're onto something there. Um, all
It's
right.
like
So
it's like cool
anything else?
because it's a throwback, but also,
By the way,
but it's kind of works. We don't have to do as much work.
yeah.
It's just the same
Um,
menu on both of them.
is there anything else that you
Uh,
want to mention? I know we played GTA 5. GTA 5
I
Online's
ordered
fun.
that.
We've been playing
Um,
that. You know,
I
but
don't know.
I think that's about it. All right. Well, in that case, we're gonna save our gaming riddle, of course, for next week because, I mean, yeah, we're gonna have a little competition, and then our question. Well, actually, you know what? We'll ask the question, Jake.
Okay.
So, have you ever taken a deuce sitting face to back? And if not, would you ever consider
No and no.
it? So you were a little you were a little hesitant. I heard. I picked up on the social cue on the second no. So it sounds like you might consider it.
No. What about you? Huh? What about you? Huh?
So here's the thing. On a normal toilet, no. But if they were able to create some type of toilet that did have a desk function, maybe like a little wider in the front, because it's wide in the back and then it kind of thins out in the front.
Yeah.
But if they'd make it like more wide in the front, so I'm not worried about like any splashback or anything like that.
Imagine getting on one backwards with a boudet.
I that'd be awful. Uh, but have a nice magazine there, maybe a Game Boy or
Yeah.
two, something
Yeah,
like
or
that.
you could just play
Take a
and read
break.
like normal with your arms on your legs.
Yeah, but then it starts hurting your legs, and you get that red mark on your legs, and you're like, "Ugh." I'm wearing shorts, and people are gonna see I have red marks. Like, damn, he took a long poo. Like,
I'm
look at
I,
that. Look at those. They're still there. It's
I
like,
hate that I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah. So like, this is two
When you're
birds
on
with
the
one
can
stone.
for half an hour playing Pokemon.
and you're like, you kind of forget what you're doing. Like, oh shit, what am I doing here? Like, why am I not in the living room doing this?
Yeah, it's like my feet are asleep and they aren't waking up for another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I gotta waddle to a couch or something and writhe in pain for 30 seconds.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the news for the week.
I don't think that question really got answered.
Yeah, we'll just leave it there. Maybe we'll ask Roger next week. He'll have a good answer for us. But we're gonna hop into the news for the week. We have one, two, three, four items on the docket this week. Starting at number one, Vicarious Visions is now a support team at Blizzard. Can we get an F in the chat for Vicarious Visions?
Oh,
On January 22nd, GamesIndustry.biz was told that all 200 of Vicarious Visions employees would be folded into Activision Blizzard and moved to a support role for their games. This comes hot off the heels of a successful Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remaster, which was critically praised and a commercial hit. They were also the team that worked in tandem with Toys for Bob in bringing Crash Bandicoot back to life with the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy. Prior to this, Vicarious Visions was mainly a support team, helping out with game series such as Destiny 2 when Bungie was still with Activision, the Skylander series, and the Guitar Hero series. While this news does while this news doesn't mean all hope for a new Tony Hawk Pro Skater game is gone, it does mean that we won't get the same team that made the stellar 2020 remasters.
didn't
Jake,
Vi- did Vicarious have anything to do with Crash 4?
no, that was Toys for Bob.
Okay, so it's just Toys for Bob on that one.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
So, on a scale from 1 to pandemic being gone, how upset are you that Vicarious Visions is no more?
It's just really disappointing, man. Like I really liked what they were doing, and I was excited to see like what other games they would tackle. But I guess we'll just see them making outfits for Diablo now.
I think it's obvious. So, that's what everyone's been saying, like, oh, they're going to make DLC now. I think it's obvious what happened here is that Activision looked at Vicarious Visions as like, wow, these guys are really good at making games. Like, they're stellar at making games. And then they looked over at Blizzard, not Blizzard. What the fuck is a Blizzard? They looked at Blizzard, which prior to the Activision buyout, honestly, was a cash cow. They were like
Was it a
one of
buyout
the
or a
top
merger?
merger by. I think they bought them. I'm pretty sure.
Is it called Activision Blizzard now, or is that
I
just
believe so. Yeah.
like the whole company's called Activision Blizzard?
I'm pretty sure they're referred to as no, like Blizzard is Activision Blizzard. I'm pretty sure that's
Okay.
what they're referred to as now. But um, you know, Overwatch happens, and then they were making Overwatch 2, but they've run into troubles there. Diablo 4, they've run into troubles.
Then they
Uh,
got the mobile game.
there was Warcraft Reforged, which came out and was terrible. Like it has like a 3.0. Like if you look over at Blizzard, they are kind of sucking right now. Like they have a lot of strong IP over there, but for whatever reason, they're just not doing well. So from a business standpoint, this makes sense. They're like, okay, we're gonna take one of these great teams that for the most part, they don't make their own games. Like they are usually just on support. We're going to take this team of 200 that's great at helping people make games and we're going to put them into Blizzard to make their games great. So like business from a business point of view this makes perfect sense.
Hmm.
From a fan point of view, I'm very
Yeah,
upset cuz I'm like we could have had so many more awesome remasters and remakes.
I will say like it'd be kind of what if it's more so less than a support role and just like additions to games or helping with new Blizzard titles, and it could be like a way of them making new original Blizzard titles.
That would be cool. I think right now they're probably not doing that because those games, of Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 are in active development and we just haven't heard anything about those games for so long. Like
I could
I'm
see
sure you
them doing
I'm sure you
Overwatch
remember
too.
like when they're talking about Diablo and they're like, "Oh, we got the mobile game." And
Is
people
this
were
out
pissed
of
off.
season April Fool's joke?
And even Diablo 3 kind of launched in a poor state. Like it took them forever to fix that. So
Hey, now you can play as Ganondorf on the Switch version.
that's true, you can. But I think right now they're probably just doing support. It would be nice if Blizzard did get their shit together and the Vicarious Vision could be like, okay, we'll make, I don't know, we'll make our own Warcraft game, or maybe they will make like remasters and remakes of older like Diablo
Mhm.
games because that'd be cool. Like play
Yeah.
Diablo 1 and 2 remake by Vicarious Visions, or you know, actually go back and make Warcraft 3 good.
Hmm.
Uh, Um,
I'm saying like honestly, because I'd forgotten about Overwatch 2. Would make a lot of sense if they were working on that. It's kind of up
mhm,
their alley because like one, they don't have to make their own engine for it because it's like, oh, there's Overwatch One's engine, we can just build off of that.
mhm.
Unless they've already built an engine for it, who knows? Um, but then it's like their whole thing is making really good cartoony art styles, and that's what
Yeah,
Overwatch is.
because
So
even with Tony Hawk Pro Skater, that's not like the most realistic looking game. It is more on the cartoony side. So yeah, this sucks. This is sad news. Again, from business point of view, I guess it does make sense because no matter how well Tony Hawk Pro Skater or, you know, actually the Crash Insane trilogy did pretty well, but any of these other remasters do, your big cash cows are going to be Overwatch 2. You're going to make the most money from that. You're going to make the most money from Diablo 4, and that's what Activision does. They want money, so they're going to try to make the most money.
also, I'm sure it's very like exciting and scary for the staff of Vicarious Visions of what's going on right now.
Yeah, no shit, because Activision, they also like to lay off a lot of people. So be like, oh, go work here, and then we hear 6 months later 100 layoffs at Blizzard. P.S. They were all from Vicarious Visions.
I feel like it could end up being like a rare situation where they just kind of get put on the bookshelf for a while, just doing miscellaneous
Well,
Blizzard
I don't even
shit.
think I don't even think they are like a team there anymore. I think they're all just Blizzard now. Like I
Mm,
don't think there's Vicarious Visions in Blizzard anymore.
yeah,
Like I think they're just people at Blizzard now. So
that sucks.
sucks. Yeah. But hopefully, maybe something good comes out of this. Maybe we get some good Blizzard games. It would be stellar for Blizzard to be great again.
I would
Cuz
love a Blizzard game that looks like the trailers for their games,
that would be fantastic. That would be awesome.
but instead it's always like you control the game with your mouse.
uh, all right. Well, let's move on to news story number 2, and that is Microsoft raised the price of Xbox Live, and then Microsoft lowered the price of Xbox Live and made free to play actually free. So this is a big one. So
All
go
in
ahead and
within 24 hours.
or less.
Yeah.
Xbox players went through a wide range of emotions this week as Microsoft announced that the price of Xbox Live was raising from an annual 60 USD a year to 60 USD for 6 months. The move was predictably met with a negative reaction from just about everyone, many condemning Microsoft's actions as a blatant move to get players to subscribe to their the Ultimate subscription, whatever it's called, Game Pass Ultimate, I think,
Uh-huh.
which includes Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass for $15 a month. It only took an afternoon for Microsoft to reverse their decision, but many agree that the damage was already done. For the time being, Xbox Live is back to its annual 60 USD a year. On top of that, Microsoft made it to where players can finally play free to play games online without an Xbox Live subscription, something both Nintendo and PlayStation have done since the beginning. Microsoft recently made a $7.5 billion acquisition of ZeniMax Studios, along with a plethora of other developers, in an effort, not in that one, but they've also bought a plethora of other developers, in an effort to compete with Sony's top studios and to make their Game Pass an even greater value. Game Pass has been a success story when it comes to digital library subscriptions. However, Microsoft has yet to make an actual profit off of the service.
That's
So,
crazy.
Jake, we saw Microsoft, they've been I okay, Microsoft sucks, and they've always kind of sucked. They're the ones that did the DLC thing, infamously Left 4 Dead did free DLC, and Microsoft's like, that's a bad precedent,
You had to have gold to watch
$20.
Netflix.
Microsoft was like, you gotta buy gold to watch Netflix, you gotta buy gold to play free games. They were the first ones that were like paid subscription because Sony was like, I don't know, it's free. And Nintendo was like, I don't know, it's free. And then Microsoft
And
was
then
like,
no, Nintendo was like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. I guess it's free.
Nintendo's like, I don't know, $20. I guess not. What's an
Friend,
internet? We don't.
friend codes.
um, but they did that, and then also Microsoft. I was honestly, this is a hot take, but I feel like they've been not the best when it comes to industry competition because since their conception, they've always just been stealing studios. Microsoft has never cultivated a good studio, and I'll stick by that. I think all
Yeah.
of Microsoft's studios that they have made themselves have not led to greatness, at least like at this point. Like they were great at some time. Like I don't even know what suit like the Coalition. Aren't they the ones that make well, even Gears was epic. Like Microsoft doesn't have studios that are
I mean,
great.
that's the thing. Like Rare, I think was their biggest first purchase they made as far as gaming studios go. Other than like even Bungie, they didn't get Bungie. It was kind of like an
And
Epic situation. They just kind of partnered with them, and then they took their IP.
and then even then, so that's another thing is Microsoft has for the first the original Xbox and the 360, instead of buying studios, they just got exclusives. Like they paid
They got
for
big
exclusive.
Sega stuff. Like they
You
had a
know,
lot of
Ninja Gaiden games. They had
the
Knights of the Republic,
Dead or
um,
Alive beach volleyball.
Morrowind, Dead or Alive, Mass Effect, BioShock. You
Did
know,
they get
that's what
Tech
they
TV?
did. I don't think
Or,
so, but I
or is it
don't know.
just or no? It was all the Dead or Alive games. I think were
It
just
was
exclusive
all the
to.
Dead or Alive, yeah. Which is funny because you hear gamers now be like, Sony got exclusive on Ghostwire Tokyo. They're terrible. That is so anti-consumer. It's like, bro, look what Microsoft's done the last 25 years. Just because they haven't done it the last five, which mind you, they tried still with Rise of the Tomb Raider. They
Yeah,
tried. They made
1 year
that a year
exclusive.
exclusive.
Well, then Final Fantasy VII remake was 1 year exclusive.
It was. And the thing is with Sony is that Sony doing that, I think, is in retaliation to what Microsoft is doing now, which Microsoft's doing
It's
the
funny they're
approach
both
of
Square.
Microsoft's like, oh, we can't make good games, so we're gonna buy every developer that makes good games and
It
just
just
hope for the best.
it's weird because it's like video game wars used to be very upfront and blatant, like, oh, Sega does
Sega
what
and
we
Nintendo,
don't,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then now
yeah.
it's like it's very much like, well, we got Final Fantasy 16. It's like, we got like Yakuza on Game Pass now, so it's.
And honestly, I think Sony is slash was a little scared of Microsoft acquiring all these studios because the games will come eventually. Like
Yeah,
the games are going
'cause,
to
like
come. Whether they're good or not, I don't know,
I think
but
this
they're
is
gonna
really
come.
good for like Microsoft's next 5 years. I don't know, but like it's not great for their launch at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
The
we
launch
don't
is
even
rough.
have Halo. We don't have first party titles for
They
it.
don't have anything. They have nothing.
Like Halo was the the Xbox seller. It's on the Xbox box.
Honestly,
Like
Bug Snacks is better than any Microsoft launch game.
it's just so sad. Like because it's like sure you can get the Series X versions of games on it, but like is it really worth shelling out $500
500.
for a console that doesn't have games?
Yeah, it's just like it
True.
will. And the thing now is it's called the Game Pass machine, which I
Hmm.
said before they haven't made any money. And also, I feel like well, let me go back to my original point. So Microsoft has always tried to like scam people. The Xbox Arcade 360 Arcade, that was the one with Ring of Death, right? 50% fail rate, things
All
like
the
that.
original models until the S1 had it. It was
Gotcha,
the
gotcha.
arcade and the elites and the standard models.
So they made bad consoles in 360. The Xbox One was a fuck you, give me money at four ninety nine ninety nine. By the way, buy our shitty Connect.
It didn't work without the
And by
Connect.
the way, again, Microsoft tried something shitty. They're trying to be like, oh, no used games. Oh,
That
always
was
have to be online.
that was
Remember
the
all that?
best. Remember the E3 trailer for Sony was like how to share games on PlayStation 4, and they just
And they just
handed
handed
it
it. Yeah, with Shuhei Yoshida, he's just like,
here.
play the game. Yeah, it's like step one, play the game. Thanks. That was a console war right there. That
Dude,
was a, like fuck you.
that
Um,
is really what I think cemented Sony's
them
win
winning. Oh
over
yeah,
that generation. It's just like they were, Xbox had that whole modicum of TV.
sports. TV,
There's
Call
that
of
Halo
Duty, Call of
TV
Duty.
show,
Yeah, uh huh.
The
No, I
dog
remember.
in Call of Duty.
I remember. But I think what they're doing now is they've built up. They've been building up goodwill. They've
And
been
this thing
pro
was like,
consumer. They've been like, we're gonna do this for the people, for the gamers. Over the last, like, I would say 4 years. People like to say 5 or 6. I think it's more been 4 years that they've been doing that, like 2017, 2016, I guess. So yeah, 5 years is 2021.
and I
Um,
will say like the Xbox One or like the Xbox One S and X and Series X. I'm not gonna mention the Series S. Like they're all very competent machines. Like
Yeah, no,
they're
and
good
they do play
systems.
games
Like
like third party games. They do play better usually.
it's just that like you know I need a reason to have it. I've had an Xbox One S. Like I've pretty much had an Xbox One the entire last generation. I played it for the Halo Master Chief Collection. I played Halo 5 once and never again. And I played 4K videos off of it.
No, I
That's it.
get it. And like, there are people like me who are always going to buy every console just because that's kind of like what I do.
hmm
Like I still have in my wish list like a Sega Saturn and shit like that? Like
Yeah,
it's just something I do.
someday.
It's like I just want all these consoles, but I think what we saw Microsoft do here is a dark reminder and a warning for the future that whatever Microsoft's doing, there's something bad is going to happen. And I know people looked that $7.5 billion acquisition of ZeniMax. They've had interviews with Phil Spencer being like, "Are you going to make the games exclusive? How are you going to pay for that?" And they're like, "Oh, it'll pay itself off. It's fine. It's fine." You don't just spend $7.5 billion and say it's okay. Bethesda is not going to make $7.5 billion ever. That's why they sold the studio for that much.
In like the 20 years that Xbox has existed, has it ever made any money for Microsoft? I don't
I
think it
think it
has.
has, yeah. Like 360 era, definitely. Like with Xbox Live, like they make money on Xbox Live.
Yeah, I guess
The
Xbox
thing
Live
is,
is free money for them.
so many people look at Xbox and they say, "Oh, they're Microsoft. They have like unlimited money. 7.5 billion drop in the bucket." It's like, "Yeah, except that's not how companies work. Companies don't look at this one part of the company and be like, "Wow, they're really bleeding us dry over here. Like they're losing us so much money. They lost us 7 billion dollars, but it's fine if you don't get any return. It's cool." No, that's not how it works.
No.
That's why you see this where they essentially double the price to play online, and it failed. It blew up in front of them. We saw people talking about, "I'm done with Xbox. I'm canceling my orders.
People
I'm
are like
returning my consoles.
returning console like
I'm
Series X.
getting a PS5." Like you saw it blow up in their face. They're like, "Oh no, 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 never mind, never mind, never mind." But this is a warning because I don't think they're just gonna be like, "Fuck it, it failed. Oh well." No, they're gonna do something, and it's
Like
not gonna be pro consumer either.
it was one thing when PlayStation rose their prices by $10. It's another thing when you try to double it.
Yeah,
Like
I know,
if they
right?
rose it by like $10, I don't think people would have cared as much, and they still would have made more money. I don't think if people would like it, but it would still. I don't think it would have caused as much negative backlash as it did because that was really reaching for that
Oh yeah.
price.
That
Um,
was so stupid. Like,
and
it was
it's
so stupid.
honestly, I don't get. I mean, I get why it's free money, but I don't get why that the plus and gold are still required to play games online.
Well,
I don't think that's like the what even the point is for them anymore. Why people get them?
I think with gold it is because honestly, Xbox Live games with gold kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Every game that I see on there, like PlayStation has its bad months, obviously,
Yeah,
but
like
PlayStation also has its good months. Like I know I keep saying like, "Oh, Bug Snacks," but we did get Bug Snacks for free in November, a brand new game.
and Fall
They
Guys.
just we got Fall Guys for free.
Say what you will
We
about it, but it's
This month we got Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the latest Tomb Raider game. We got Greedfall, which is supposed to be like one of these like double A but really good pirate games or something. And then we got Maneater, which is a relatively new game. Like PlayStation Plus kicks ass.
and over the summer, like remember we got like the new Modern Warfare 2 remastered campaign.
Yeah,
Again, say what you will about that. That's great. Star Wars
I
Battlefront 2 was free.
I
Um,
think the thing with PlayStation Plus is that they've always given out free games with PlayStation Plus because that was the thing at first. It wasn't for online. It was just like if you want these games, buy PlayStation Plus for $50 a month,
yeah.
and we'll give you these games. And then PS4 era, there's two things. A, I think they looked at Microsoft and said, look, they're just giving them free money. We could be making more free money if we say online required. But B,
Plus,
the
Sony was
PS3,
doing not so hot.
Sony wasn't doing so hot until like the end of the PS3. And then
Mhm.
also B, whatever you want to say, I know PS3 isn't awful online, but it's not great online. And if you like, I think we've really like forgotten how bad online was back in the day. But I think they really have been using that money to like make the online better.
Mhm. Well,
because, oh
the
my
thing is too,
gosh, it was so bad. I played 360 online. Like, I played Call of Duty
360 and
online.
PS3, like PS3 had the superior online, and it was free.
I don't know, man. Like, there were some things with online and the way that, like, the net code just would drop sometimes, and
Like,
I don't
minus
know.
the time Sony got hacked and had no live service for, like, a
There's
summer,
there's also that, yeah,
uh,
like,
like, it it did have, I think, superior netcode and connections than Xbox did.
maybe. I didn't play a lot of online, to be fair. I only played some games online.
I mostly played like, for the amount of I had an Xbox 360, I mostly played PS3 online that generation because that's
Hmm,
what I had in the house.
yeah.
Like, I played a lot of Call of Duty online. I played a lot of, um, oh, what was it? I played a lot of, like, Saints Row 2 and 3 online. I played a little bit of Resistance online. I never played the campaign.
Hmm.
Um, but the only thing I ever played
Go
on
for that go for
Xbox was
that 10,000 kill trophy.
Halo. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I got it. You can see it. But no, that was on my long gone, forgotten PlayStation account.
Yeah, of course.
Um, but on my 360, like, all I ever played online on that was Halo, some Call of Duty, and Minecraft. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and Minecraft sucked. Like, that did not have good online.
You're
Halo
right.
was really good. I never had really any issues with Halo. Sometimes it would take forever to get into a match, but other than that, it was pretty flawless. But I think the two big ones, Call of Duty and Halo, that's where not many people had issues. It was like
Mhm.
every other game.
Yeah, it's fair. I only played Call of Duty on there, so I wasn't big. I'm still not a big multiplayer guy, so
Yeah, I very seldomly do unless it's like, you know, kind of cool or fun, just
yeah,
stupid stuff. Not like, I run around, shoot a guy, die, run respawn, run around, shoot a guy, die.
yeah. So I have a question for you.
Hmm.
Seeing Microsoft backpedal so fast, I guess this question is twofold. A, do you think that they're done and they're like, we failed. You know what? Fuck it. We'll just keep doing the goodwill. We'll make it up some other way. Maybe our games will sell a billion copies. Or do you think that they're gonna try something else? And if they do, what do you think they're gonna try?
I think they're going to try to really ramp up Xbox Ultimate. Um, I feel like they might come back around to raising gold, if not just getting rid of gold entirely.
Maybe
Um,
they do that, get rid of gold, so you have to get ultimate.
yeah, and maybe lowering the price of Ultimate a little bit to make it more appetizing, but it's still a higher price
Mm.
than gold was.
That is
And
something. That is something they could do. With like, hey, okay, we're gonna get rid of gold, and you guys have to get ultimate,
mhm.
but it
But I
stays
I
at.
think the cool the like the way that I think they should do it is that would, I think, be consumer friendly and business smart. Get rid of gold for online play, make online play completely free across the board, and make Ultimate the way you get your free games plus the Game Pass every month.
Hmm, that is
Because at
intriguing.
this point, like, most online games are free to play at this point. I mean, Halo's coming out with free to play.
It's
I'm pretty
true.
sure Warzone free to play.
Yeah, Destiny 2,
Destiny
Fortnite,
2 is free,
Rocket
Fortnite.
League.
Like, what do you pay online for unless it's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Splatoon 2?
No, you're right. Like a lot of the, especially big games, like they've learned that. I'm surprised Battlefront 2 isn't free to play. Honestly,
Yeah,
like
I mean, it's EA, but
most big games have learned that you go free to play, you're going to make more money on the back end,
mhm.
like than you would on the front.
Like, you
So,
you have the campaign people can buy, and if you want the multiplayer, you can just download the multiplayer.
and then you buy loot boxes,
Buy
cosmetic,
the PC
whatever
skin,
you want. Like, yeah, like you want to spend
which
$20 on a skin, that's your choice. Like,
and that's the thing, like, with Halo, that's kinda scary it's going free to play
yeah,
because it's
it's
probably
going to
not
be
gonna be
filled with
good.
that stuff.
Who know like, honestly, like, people have asked, "Is there gonna be a battle royale on Halo?" And they won't answer.
The answer is yes. The answer,
So,
I'm telling you right now, is yes.
mhm.
Um, but I
I
don't,
don't, and,
I
like,
don't.
unless they make it Halo, like, the battle royale, like, Halo feel like Halo, it's just gonna be not fun.
Yeah.
Like, that could, like, if they get it right, that could be the one battle royale I'm like, "Alright." But I don't like the idea of battle royale in Halo. I mean, it could be
I
good.
agree.
I think it can be good. It's just I don't think
Mm,
it really belongs in that franchise.
I don't think so either.
It'd be a cool like you know forge mode. Like if it came out of something like Griffball or Infection, that would have been neat. But it's
Hmm.
coming out of a place of business rather than fan creation or
I mean,
for
if
the
they
fans.
put a battle royale in Fallout, they're gonna put it in
We
Halo.
put a battle royale in Fallout 76.
Fuck yeah. God. It's hilarious because if you look at Bethesda the last 4 years, it's like it's not surprising that you sold.
Price is cheap.
Like,
It's
they
pretty,
were they had
yeah.
some hits like Doom, yeah, but like everything else is just like, what the fuck are you guys
Doom
doing?
battle royale could have been really cool. How brutal it would be, like just slashing everyone. It'd just be like literal actual hell.
I have a conspiracy theory that Todd Howard is a snake oil salesman. That Bethesda was falling on its last leg and be like, haha, we'd never sell. Please God sell. Like,
Yeah, I mean that's that's probably why they announced all those games so early too.
yeah, just be like,
Have
eh.
like some investor strength.
That's for another episode though.
Yeah,
As for me, I
tell
think
me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
I love that video. I think your theory is pretty it has a lot of merit to it. It's pretty
Mhm.
possible. I also think what they could do is that 6 months to a year, they say like, us at Xbox have made dozens of studio acquisitions, nonetheless being of ZeniMax with all the amazing titles coming to it, and there's never been more value than ever on Game Pass. And to keep up with our acquisitions and with our new streaming on Android and all that, we are announcing we will be raising the price of Ultimate to 19.99, and then they'll throw in something like we'll be giving you an extra like exclusive game once a month or something.
They could do the three games. Well, I guess they do the three games, but like,
Yeah, but maybe they throw in another game like their own IP, so it's not costing them anything. But
yeah,
if they can't get the blue ocean strategy, they're gonna go for the whale strategy. They're gonna go for the people that are already
you
there
know,
and be like, okay, we'll just
I
have them
think
pay more.
a cool thing would like every time, like for first time, or I guess no, for anyone who buys Game Pass Ultimate, they get the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, that would
So,
be.
like, who's still
There's
buying that
something.
game, honestly, unless it's on PC? But
I'm
I
sure
think that
there's
would be a good
plenty.
incentive to get people to play Halo and get them excited for the new Halo.
And they've tried like incentivizing people with the dollar for a month, dollar for 3 months. In your case, dollar for 6 months. Whatever
Yeah,
the glitch lets you do. um,
I've heard a
but
lot of people got like screwed over on their existing, like when it was going to $120, they did the $1 upgrade trial for Ultimate, and because they did that, they wouldn't have been able to keep their old subscription for $60 a year. That
that
was
sucks.
like a lot of people like they had just did that, and I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure they did that on purpose to get people off of the old model so they couldn't be grandfathered in.
probably. That sucks.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think. Mark my words right now. I don't think this is over. Microsoft. They're at the end of the day, they're a company, and they
Yeah.
can do as much like we're for the people, for the gamers, for goodwill, whatever. At the end of the day, they're looking to make money. And yeah, sure, they come from Microsoft, one of the richest companies in the world, but that doesn't mean shit. Like,
Hmm.
they still want to make money, and Microsoft doesn't want to have this faction of them bleeding them dry of money. Like, you do not make an $8 billion investment, at least at minimum, because they bought so many other studios. And they buy games to put on Game Pass. Like, they don't do that for free. They're like, hey, we'll give you this much money if you put your game on Game Pass.
Hmm.
So they're gonna do something, and Xbox fans are probably going to defend it. Although they didn't defend this, I saw like literally three people defend this, but they were like laughed out of the room. Like,
Yeah, and I've seen some
no,
people say
no
like,
one
"Oh, this
defended
was the
this.
plan all along." It's like, no, they wouldn't have printed like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of prepaid cards if that
Oh,
was the case.
dude, I don't think those prepaid cards cost anything.
Well, I mean, like to mass produce them, like the amount like we get like stacks.
Oh,
Of,
oh, 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 my bad. You're saying like it was the plan all along to say we're raising to 120 and then to drop it back to 60.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, it wasn't. Yeah, because you're right. They mass printed the 6 months for $60.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I want to
No,
get one
you're
of
right.
those. I want to have that like framed on my wall.
Could you imagine being such a fanboy? Like, I could not imagine defending a company so much that I would do
I don't
something
get it.
like that.
I don't get like it's like
I
with
don't
CD
either.
Projekt Red. I don't like why are people so
spend anything.
obsessed with them because
Like
it's even a game that didn't even come out yet, like Cyberpunk, and it's like, oh, it's the best game ever, and
I'll
then
admit
it
it,
did.
I'm
Like,
I'm kind of a Sony I'm a Sony fan and an Atlas fan, but to me, when I'm a fan
I
of
feel like they
something,
can't do no wrong.
I feel like I criticize them more when I'm a fan of
Yeah,
them. I'm harsher on them. I'm like, fucking Atlas, what are you doing over there? Where is SMT5, huh? Where is Persona 6? Why do your community interaction sucks now that you've been with Sega? Your DLC sucks now. Like, why is there $120 worth of DLC for Persona 5? Why is Persona 5 Royale not, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
yeah.
I just don't understand like the defending them, like, because people do defend that. They're like, oh, it's got enough content for $60 more and they need the DLC because they're a small
Actually,
company or
it's
blah blah
not real
blah.
people, it's people at Microsoft that are paid to insert themselves into communities and get people's voices louder.
What if it's like
Like
Kevin
one become
Durant on
10.
his burner account, or like any politician, we see those sometimes where they forget to log out and they comment on their own thing, like, yeah, I really agree with him, he makes a good point. It's like, idiot, you're still on your account.
Oh,
uh,
shit.
yeah,
But
so
honestly, I think, Microsoft, this whole new console launch has been very, educational for Sony because
yeah,
they made the first move with pricing. Sony was like, "All right, we got this." And then now I'm Sony probably seeing this as like, well, we better not ever fucking raise the price of anything. People are gonna fucking jump ship.
well,
Um,
that's not true because Sony, they were the ones that said 69.99 for new games.
yeah,
They
they
said that,
set the
and
standard for it.
the
Uh,
thing though is
it
that they
doesn't seem like
only
it's
did
catching on.
$10,
Yeah,
and it kind of is worth it. It's like I could be like, okay, I see why the new Demon Souls is worth $70. To some people, it's not, but it just depends who you are.
I think though, I don't know if it will catch on or not. It doesn't seem like everyone's fully committed to that price point. Like Resident Evil Village is coming out at $60 on either
Yeah,
console. Like Godfall, no, Godfall did. It was Immortals came out at $60 on both.
a lot of
Uh,
game. Well, Ubisoft said that they're not doing the $70 right
it's
now.
weird that Call of Duty Black Ops came out at $70, but you can buy the previous gen version at $60 that comes with the next gen version. I
Yeah,
don't understand the but you can also go on the PlayStation Store and buy the combo that comes with both versions digitally. That's like $80. I
yeah.
don't know what the logic is with the pricing for that game.
I
Uh,
don't know.
I just figured it was going to be $60 across the board because it's a PS4 game technically.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah, I
it's
don't
just
know,
a little
man.
weird right now. I think we're gonna see like Sony will probably keep making their games at $70. It's gonna be like kind of a Nintendo thing, I'm sure, where
I
like
think
their games are a
Sony.
price and
Well,
multi
I don't know.
platforms are gonna be less
I
depending
think
on the multi platform.
I think Sony's really been, and this is getting off topic, but that's okay. We're done with the Microsoft thing. We've said our piece about it. I don't trust them. They're up to
Yeah.
something. Please
Uh,
just keep being good.
stand back and stand by.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my
But
favorite
with
quote.
Sony, I it's interesting because they've been traveling the spectrum of game prices for a while now. Because if you
Mhm.
remember, when the new Ratchet and Clank reboot came out, that was $50.
Yeah.
And they
And
did like the Uncharted Lost Legacy, which was $40. And then of course they have their games that are 60. So
this is the it. Like we won't see very many $40 games anymore this generation. Do you think it'll go up to that like $50,
Miles Morales came out at 50, right?
50?
Yeah.
But you could pay the $70 for the one that comes with Spider-Man Remastered.
Well, of course, yeah. So they would have that
I'm seeing a lot of
$70 on
that
top.
too. Like with Resident Evil Village, there's the base game for $60, but you can get the $70 version, which comes with a bunch of bonus stuff like the save room music and
And it comes with 7 too,
yeah, it comes with seven. So
which I'm
um,
okay with. If
is
they're
that a
doing
seven?
the
Is that remastered for PS5 or is it just
I
bare bones
can't
basic seven?
I don't know. I can't imagine. I'm sure it
For
has like
$10
some.
more, that'd be worth it if it's PS5 enhanced. But I don't know.
I think if you I think it's worth it either way. Like if
I
you
mean, you get it
don't
for
have
free when you have
7,
PS Plus.
true. Yeah. Oh yeah, because of the whole.
It's in
That's
the
probably why
collection.
they did it actually, because
Mhm.
they're like, it's already free.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know though. I like this trend of putting the remasters in there. I hope they do that with God of War and some other games. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm fine with $70 though. But again, that's incremental. They did okay.
You
We'll
know,
do games have been $60 for 15 years. We'll do 10 more dollars. Not, hey, we're gonna double your price just to play online right now.
Mhm. I would honestly be cool with games like getting remakes, kind of how like Modern Warfare 2 did, where it's $20 digital only.
Yeah.
I think
hmm
that'd be a cool way to do like stuff like God of War.
I agree.
Um,
Just split off a little team and be like, hey, you guys go make this game look beautiful. We'll sell easy $30. You don't have to pay for writers. You don't have to pay for designers. You don't have to pay for like level makers. You don't have to pay for music. You're
'Cause,
just
like when you
upping the
think about
graphics. That's it.
paying $60 for a remake of a game that's running on the same engine, like you're really just doing like fluff work on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Like when Halo Anniversary came out, it's $60 game,
Yeah.
and
I don't know.
and then when Modern Warfare Remaster came out, it was an $80 game because you had to buy it with Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Um,
They did eventually release it on its own, but
yeah, it was $40, which it's like you got the multiplayer, which but
mhm.
I don't know. It's weird that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 didn't come out with the multiplayer, and it's weird that
I
they've
think
never
it makes
ended up
sense
putting it
because
on there. Yeah,
Warzone had just launched,
Warzone.
and they at that point you would have three different Call of Duty multiplayers competing against each other. I
Mm,
think that's why they didn't do it. It's because like you're just cannibalizing your own fan base at that
yeah,
point.
and now Warzone is like the Call of Duty multiplayer, right? Like it just
Warzone is
seasons.
Warzone has more players than Fortnite.
It
Like
makes sense
Warzone
in
is the
Call of
top
Duty.
dog. It's good
When
too.
Black Ops
Like
3 tried, or 4, Black Ops 4 tried, and then it didn't
that wasn't good,
because people
but
didn't want to pay $60 for a battle royale.
Warzone is legitimately good. Like I have fun playing it when I do play it.
That's another thing. Like Black Ops 4, what a slap in the face to make you pay $60 for a multiplayer only game. Like if
That game was so
$40, whatever, but like still, it's still too high of a price. But yeah,
yeah,
it's to scrap the campaign to put a battle royale in it and still charge $60 is stupid,
it's
especially when it's
ridiculous.
still full of microtransactions, like all battle royales are.
Yeah. So speaking of Resident Evil, because we mentioned 8 coming out,
Yeah,
our third topic, our news topic of the week, is Resident Evil made a pretty big splash, kind of. I should have reworded that, like they made a little thud. Um,
the
the
big
Resident Evil.
hot vampire lady made a thud.
Oh yeah, it's so hot. Got a little steamy with the showcase. The Resident Evil showcase we mentioned last week came and subsequently went. While we did get some new gameplay reveals and a release date for Resident Evil Village releasing in May, the rest was not so exciting. Capcom announced a free multiplayer game that will be coming with Resident Evil Village called RE-Verse, a
Woohoo!
competitive multiplayer shooter featuring characters from all the Resident Evil games.
Woohoo!
Additionally, a demo for Resident Evil Village, not the Resident Evil Village, was announced to be coming soon, aside with a technical showcase demo released the day of the showcase exclusively for PlayStation 5. Finally, a collaboration with The Division 2 of all games was announced.
I didn't know that.
Players who log into The Division 2 and do specific tasks beginning in February will receive Resident Evil themed cosmetics and gear.
So weird.
Outside of the showcase, some news about Resident Evil 4 Remake did pop up. I don't know if you heard about this. VGC reported that M2's, the lead team on Resident Evil 3 Remake, role has been significantly reduced with Division 1 taking over the project, the guys that did like RE2 Remake.
Man, you
The
really when I
main
was reading ahead, that really confused me because you mentioned the Division 2, and I'm like, "Wait, what's going on with Division 1? Are they doing
uh
this what?"
oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah, no, Division 1 is the name of like Capcom's lead team.
Okay.
The main reason for this was M2 wanted to change the game more like they did with Resident Evil 3,
Alright, alright.
while Capcom wanted a more one-to-one remake of the game. Because of this transfer, the project has been projected to be delayed from 2022 to 2023. So,
See,
we
and
did
that
discuss this
yeah,
last week,
that's what my concern was too, was whether they would go for a more radical
and it seems like they
remake.
were.
And yeah, I think with 4 you can't really get away with that. With the PS1 games, you can, they're PS1 games. You
I
kind of make
still
them more modern.
say
But I think
so
listen. I think if they make a more one-to-one remake, but don't like Blue Point it where you keep the everything the same.
yeah, like
I
Shadow
think
of the Colossus, like
yeah,
everything's the same.
that's I mean not to say that that's bad, but like I think if they modernized it with the same level design, like the same story, I think
Like they
that
did in
would work.
RE2.
Yeah. Like cuz so with RE2, it's the same game basically, but with modern camera angles and controls. With 4, you don't really need to change the camera angles. You can keep it the same. It's like behind the character that works. It's just make Leon run around a little bit better. Make
Yeah.
Ashley not suck.
Yeah.
Make certain segments not as broken. It's there's
Mhm.
some jank in that game, but you can make it pretty. Like I want to see the boulder scene with him
That's all you
running like
care about.
a fucking madman. I want his arms to be moving just as fast in the remake.
I love that when you are running in that, they didn't, like, make special animation for it. It was just like,
It goes faster.
"Make the frame rate faster." Like,
Just put it on fast forward.
it literally is what it is. I do wanna mention that, honestly, whichever version of RE4 we get, I'm fine with either. If we get a one-to-one remake, that's awesome. If they do, like, be more creative with it, I think that's okay too.
What
I
if these remakes kind of, because 5 and 6 weren't too popular? What if the remakes kind of like
Whoa, that's not
feed
true.
into a
That's
way?
not true at all.
No, that's
RE5 is the highest selling game of all
really.
time. Yeah, and RE6 I think is number 2.
I thought they
Like,
weren't like as well liked as the previous ones.
they so
Was that the whole reason why 7 ended up being the way it was? Is because of how 6 was?
the problem with RE5 and 6, it's not even a problem, but the fan base was built off survival horror,
Yeah,
obviously, because that's what 1, 2, and 3 are. 3 to a lesser extent, you can kinda
3
see
was
where
more
3
action packed.
yeah, and then 4 also is kinda like 4 found that nice medium. It found the parts of 2 that worked and the parts of 3 that worked, and they mashed it together, and 4 was stellar. But the industry was moving away from that to more action packed, like, spectacle scenes and things like that. And also it was cooperative. And when 5 came out, it wasn't scary anymore, but it was a good action game and people liked it. And the same with 6. The problem with 6 was that the story was convoluted as fuck. Like they had
Yeah,
5 different campaigns or something in that game. Like it was fucking ridiculous how many campaigns they had. That was the problem with 6 cuz 6 like isn't a it's not a terrible game. Like I've beaten some of the campaigns. Like it controls good.
I
The
love
fighting
6
is fun.
because at the beginning, when you're going through the building, you can put any direction into the circle pad. You're going
Yeah, it
straight.
doesn't. Yeah, yeah, it
You're
doesn't
going
matter.
straight.
And that's the problem too. Is that they're more like movies instead of
Mhm.
like survival horror. But even with 7 coming out, Resident Evil 5 and 6 are still the highest selling Resident Evil games. Definitely 5. 5 is number 1.
Mm.
So I think they're remaking these games because they are finding
Yeah, well,
their spot.
do you even think they'll remake 5 and 6?
I That's the thing is I
Because they're
think
PS3 games. That's a little bit more modern than, you know,
it
2 and 3 and
is
4.
a little more modern, but
I
by
was
the time
surprised when they did 4. Um,
I think by the time they get to 5 though, no, Dreamland right here, they do 4 and then they do Code Veronica next.
That'd be cool.
That's a dream to me. I
I
love Code Veronica and I love it if they remade that.
I would
And
love
then
if they remade Origins or like the Origins collection, like 1 and 0. I think that'd
if they
be
did that again, I think that'd be
yeah,
good too
like
because those
in
are
the
old
Resident Evil 2
remakes.
style. Because it's like, they're good remakes, but I mean, 0, I guess, is technically a remake of a game that never came out. Uh,
Yeah,
but it's, running off of the same
dated
engine as
GameCube.
Resident Evil 4. So,
Yeah.
and it's got the camera angles of the original games, so it's kind of
I could see them doing that, but I also can see them skipping out on that right now because I think RE5
maybe,
would
maybe
sell
they'll
more.
give M2 Resident Evil 1 because they're like, yeah, yeah, just make it like you did 3.
Yeah. And
put
that's the
it
thing
put a
too
monster
is
in that one.
I think they looked at I think the big thing was they were looking at M2 on 3 and then they looked at Resident Evil 2 remake and they looked at Resident Evil 3 remake. And regardless of like how people felt to them, I bet you what it came down to was they looked and like, oh look, RE2 remake sold a lot more.
Yeah,
So let's do what that did. Let's not change it up.
and
And that
it's not.
also worries me because what if they are so scared now to take any chances at all? It could be an exact one-to-one remake, which is
Which
fine, but at
would
that
be
point,
like
is it
with
even a
Resident Evil
remake?
4. But yeah, if you get a visual overhaul, and it's like, look at the
Well,
Halo
that's a
game.
remaster.
Like,
I would call the Halo games a remaster, not a remake.
oh yeah, they
Final
are
Fantasy
remasters. In the name, it's a remaster. We wouldn't want anything like Final Fantasy 7 with Resident Evil
Well, that's
4.
what I'm saying, like, Resident Evil 2 is a remake because yes, it's the same building and stuff, but the puzzles are different, the camera's
Yeah,
different, like everything's
I
different.
think
I
that's
want
something that needs
remakes,
to
not
be changed too
remasters.
in Resident Evil 4. The puzzles are a little out there, I guess.
Yeah.
Some of them a little bit dated, uh, but I don't think all of them are bad. I think like there's room for improvement and change while keeping the overall game intact,
I agree.
which I don't think is what M2 got taken off for. I think they wanted to go more linear. I mean, the game's already linear, but like how they did 3, where it's not really the same game, but kind of.
Mhm.
I'm sure they
Yeah.
want. Is there like a Nemesis or Mister X of Resident Evil 4?
No, there's no one that really chases you or anything. And but again, Resident Evil
Except the Boulder.
4, it takes, yeah, the boulder chases you. Um
That's the reoccurring villain in Resident Evil 4 is the Boulder.
and there are some things, like there's that one guy that you meet in the cabin.
Mhm.
He's kind of there and then he kind of just dies and
The
he's gone.
Hispanic guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I could see, and then there's a lot of stuff like Ada gets involved and other things. Like the story of 4 gets kind of weird, and you can see why 6 is so convoluted because, 1, 2, and 3 were pretty straightforward, but then 4 is like, oh, you're going to go rescue the president's daughter. Oh, but Umbrella's behind this. But it's a Wesker. He's still alive. And oh, Ada's here. She's was with you, but now she's against you. It's like, what the fuck is happening? Like the
Thing
end of
is,
that game gets kind of pretty weird.
I think those games were also influenced heavily by the direction the movies were going, because those were
Probably.
incredibly popular, and they're like, oh, well, people like the movies. Let's start making the games like the movies.
And again, it worked. Like they
Yeah,
are the highest selling game. So I don't know. I think the future of Resident Evil is clear but also hazy because they do also like we'll go back to RE-verse. They did announce this free multiplayer. It's not free, but it comes with the game, kind of like with RE3 came
and
with
the
that
thing is,
one
like,
multiplayer game.
with Resident Evil, they still make the shitty Resident Evil games. Like they're just like
Yeah,
not
they do
talked about. Like we
because
still
they're
get our Raccoon Cities and our Umbrella Chronicles and shit like that. They're just
and it's so
bundled behind
interesting.
all the good stuff.
Like I wonder why.
I
Like
don't know.
why do they keep trying multiplayer? It never and I know why. It's because of RE5. RE5 was multiplayer, and they're like, that's our highest selling one. So people want multiplayer, but they don't nail it each time. They
No,
keep just making it awful.
it's
So
it's it's just kind of like I don't know. Maybe they'll figure out. Capcom's weird.
yeah, they are
They make Monster Hunter and Mega Man and Resident Evil. Like those are not three
good
things that
games though.
go that play. They don't play along. You put them in the room together, they're not going to get along.
It's true, but they're good. And then the last thing, this Division 2 collaboration. I don't know what the fuck this is about. I think
It's
I
so
think that's
Division Two is
Ubisoft.
old.
That's Ubisoft coming with a big bag of money, feeling like, please put this in so people remember us and be like, okay.
Like, how old is the Division Two, and it's now getting a Resident Evil tie-in?
3 years, I
It's
think.
so weird. Are they making? Is this going to be kind of like a
2
Destiny Two
years.
thing where they're going to just keep going with it, or are we
I
getting a
don't.
Division Three in like a couple of years?
Well, like we said before, they're making that team is making the new Avatar and a new Star Wars game. They
You're
don't
right.
have enough people to make a third game, so they're not making the Division 3
And
right
with
now.
Tom Clancy dead, like what are you going to do with
Oh my gosh, that's
his
not
IP?
doesn't matter. The Division was made after he died.
No,
Yeah, what?
no. He wrote it in his will. His will was just the plot of Division.
All right.
He
Do you
didn't
have
leave
any
anything
other
to anyone. It was all given to the dev team.
you have any other final thoughts on Resident Evil?
Um, I don't know. It's like I'm excited to see what 8 has in store for us.
You think you're gonna get 8 day one?
I don't know about day one,
Hmm.
but I'll probably get it when it goes on sale.
Gotcha.
Just because I don't really like paying $60 for games, let alone $70,
Me neither.
let
That's
alone
why
$60.
I ordered the $200 version of it.
I know you did. I that Chris Redfield is gonna look nice next to your Leon and Jill.
Jill, yeah. Hey, I'll be honest, I'm kind of a Resident Evil fanboy. I like it. But I
I
know
need
that most of the games are bad.
Zero is weird. I played it. I stated I wanted to play them in order. I don't know if I'll
Dude,
do
they're all
that,
weird. They're
but
all weird, honestly. Even 2, like 2 is weird. 3 is
Zero is
weird.
all about these little leech creatures and creatures made of
Yep.
leeches,
Yep.
and it's yeah, it's
7 is fungus.
yeah.
All right, moving on to our last story of the week. It's kind of a smaller one, but I wanted to mention it because I like this game. There's rumors to believe that a new Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game is currently in development, but it's not from BioWare or EA.
Anyway,
EA. God damn. EA. Fucking A. Insiders are reporting that a new Knights of the Old Republic game is being developed by someone other than EA and BioWare. While this is just a rumor, the Star Wars license was recently announced to be free of EA's exclusivity when Ubisoft announced it was making a new title. The last Knights of the Old Republic game released way back in 2014, so it's been
2014.
17 or 2004. Dude, what is wrong with my brain?
I don't know. You need to take a nap.
I'm having like some type of aneurysm right now or something.
Are you okay? You having a stroke?
I need water.
Blood moving?
Uh, The last Knights of the Old Republic game, the second one, was released way back in 2004 and was developed by Obsidian, so not BioWare, mind you, a now Microsoft studio. While we don't know who exactly is making the new KOTOR game, insiders say that we will, quote, never guess, end quote, who the developer is.
Nintendo.
Know who I think it is, honestly? And I'm
Um,
not just saying this because I want to will it into existence, but also at the same time, I kind of am.
Sony.
Yeah. We still don't know what that Santa Monica team's doing.
Yeah. It.
And we do know that
Could you imagine KOTOR being exclusive on PS5?
oh my gosh, what's his name? Uh
Sean Murray.
no, Sean Murray. The Cory Barlog. We
Yeah.
know that he was like kind of like he's pretty sure not working on God of War Ragnarok. So it's like, what is he doing at Sony Santa Monica? He was kind of like he made his profile picture like a satellite or something and like
Hmm.
space stuff. And there was a canceled sci-fi game at uh whatever it's called. Santa
Could be
Monica, thank you.
could be retooled into a Star Wars
So
game.
maybe they retooled it and they're like, okay, we're gonna give you the sci-fi game. By the way, it's fucking Star Wars. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Like a Sony Star Wars game that's also Knights of the Old Republic. That would be so fucking
Correct me
cool.
if I'm wrong. Where wasn't Knights of the Old Republic exclusive to like console on Xbox, like the original Xbox?
Yep. Yep.
So
Never came to PlayStation. That
God,
would be an irony if it did.
like, do you imagine how mad Xbox Twitter would be with not having Spider-Man or Knights of the Old Republic?
That's the thing is that Xbox is trying so hard. Like they literally bought Bethesda and ZeniMax.
Dude, what if they
But
get Aquaman?
all Sony has to do is walk out and be like, "Yeah, we have Knights of the Republic." That
Drop
beats
the mic.
that beats everything Microsoft has purchased in the last 5 years.
Oh yeah.
Everything. Even Spider-Man honestly kind of beats
The thing is,
everything.
if we get Knights of the Old Republic, it's just gonna be another Uncharted game.
Probably, but
It's gonna be
honestly,
like God of War, Uncharted, Last of Us.
I'm kind of okay with that because
Yeah,
those games work well. Like it's they have a formula over there, but they keep it fresh. Because when I was playing God of War, I was like, this is pretty inspired by The Last of Us. But at the same time, I was like, but it's God of War, so it's fucking
mhm.
awesome.
And Ghost of Tsushima is even pretty like Sonyified as
Eh,
well. Like the way
kind of.
I don't know. It's more open world than most of them are. Um,
I feel like it's probably the least Sony game out of the Sony like studios. And you know, I don't want to say also like all Sony games are like that because obviously they're not. Everything out of Japan studio is not like that.
because the thing is,
I,
like,
I would say
I'll
Insomniac's not like that either at all.
I just could not see Ghost of Tsushima on an Xbox. Like, it's one of those games where it's like, this is a PlayStation
Yeah,
game.
I
Like,
agree.
I see it and I'm like, that's on the blue box.
That's not a green game. That's the blue game. No, I know what you mean, and it is like I understand. Like at one point, I'm like, yeah, you don't want every game to be the same. I think they're doing pretty well though, because like I mean, just look at their launch lineup. Like
Yeah, and like whenever
Demon
there's
Souls and Miles Morales and Bug Snacks, and I know Bug Snacks isn't a Sony game, but you know, like all those launch games that Sony got, and even
uh
Returnal that's coming out, that's like a twin stick 3D shooter and stuff.
and
So they have
Kena
variety.
and Stray looks really good. I'm really excited for Kena. I really want that game like
Me
now.
too.
Um,
Yeah.
looks
And
really
again, those aren't Sony games, but they are like partnered with Sony. And I think that's what Sony's done is like, I think that's why also they're getting like Final Fantasy and stuff is they're learning like, okay, we're really good at third person story driven adventure games. So we're going to do that. And then we'll just have everyone else do everything else for us. And it works. It's like you go to PlayStation, you're like, oh, yeah, they have everything that Microsoft has, but they also have that. They also have Uncharted. They also have Spider Man and all of that. So I was like, I'm going to go with them. Even if the Xbox looks better technically, and it's literally counting pixels, like
Yeah,
you're talking like 1440p versus 1640 or whatever 4K is. It's like at that point when you're looking that close, it really doesn't fucking matter. And it was the same thing with PS4 and Xbox One. Like the Xbox One at the beginning, I don't know what was up with it. Like it was running games at like 900p or something. I don't
yeah.
understand why.
Well, it's because of the so much of the RAM
It's
was
the
being used up
Connect.
by the
Yeah,
Kinect.
that's
Like
right.
that's why the Xbox Series like One S saw such a significant improvement, not just because of the minor hardware upgrade, but because it didn't have
It didn't
the
have the
requirement for
Connect.
the Kinect to be plugged in. That was a hindrance for anyone who was developing on Xbox because they
Yeah.
had to include it, or else they were just wasting RAM.
But even then, like at the end of Xbox's life cycle, like the Xbox Series X was a thing, and it technically was the most powerful console for like 2 years, but
If
no one cared.
Well, the
Like
thing is,
no
like
one
the
cared.
Xbox Series X is a good console. Like when
Yeah,
it went down to $200, I wish I would have grabbed one because I think it would have sustained me for this generation.
probably, honestly.
So I mean, I'd like to find one someday, but everyone sells them for a lot more than they were. So
Yeah. So, Jake, do you have any ideas who would you never guess would be making a Knights of the Republic game? Because I think it's pretty I'm confident in saying at this point that it is being made by someone.
Toys for Bob.
You're ridiculous. They
That's
would
who
not.
I would never guess. You would never guess Toys for Bob.
If Activision was making this game, I would be so upset.
Bungie.
I'd be so upset.
If Bungie was making it, that'd be cool.
You know what? You're right. These are places. These are things I would never guess. So you could be right.
Because like, what is Bungie? Bungie hasn't done anything since Destiny 2 came out.
They're still making Destiny 2 though. Like
Yeah,
they release a big DLC packet like every 6 months. It's a
yeah.
big game. Like they're constantly updating it, and it's not. They're just one team, so I can see like that's their game that they do and nothing else.
The thing is, like, it's not like KOTOR is even in development right now.
I think it is.
You think it is?
I think it is like officially in development.
Mm-hmm. What if it's Bethesda? What if they got that and Indiana Jones?
Honestly, it's possible. It was
Yeah.
weird that Bethesda had Indiana Jones and not Star Wars, so maybe they did give like machine
God, could you
games
imagine
somehow.
Knights of the Old Republic but it's Fallout?
Oh my god,
That
that'd
would
be
be awful.
terrible. I
That's
think
the worst future. Let's not go for that one.
the one I would like most obviously is Sony, but there are
Yeah.
others that I would be okay. Obsidian, what
I
are they
think,
doing?
well,
They
yeah.
made the second one, so it's like, why not?
Like I think that. Well, I mean, we would guess them though.
True. Fair enough.
I think I think Sony would be cool. I think Bungie would be cool. I think Toys for Bob that'd be amazing.
I think
Um,
Bungie would do really good.
yeah, I think Bungie that'd be cool for them to make something not Destiny.
Hmm. That'd be
Um,
big for them too.
they're really good writers. They're really good at making like worlds, and just, like a nice tight universe. So I think they would be able to do something cool with the Old Republic.
Honestly, as long as it's not EA, Activision, or Ubisoft, I'm probably okay with it.
I uh I just kind of hope it's not a game that's made to tie in with the new High Republic stuff that's coming
I
out.
don't think it will be. None of
I
the.
think so.
I think all the games at this point they tried tying things in with Battlefront 2 and it didn't work. I think at this point they're like we're doing our own thing
Because
now, which I is smart.
we'll never have another Shadow of the Empire.
Hmm.
That'll never happen where we
Well,
have
they
like
might.
the books and the comics and the games and
You
the
never
PC
know.
ports of the games that have FMVs.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
All right. We're gonna do a podcast special one day when we where we'll talk about we'll talk about our dream Star Wars game or whatever. But
I think
that's for
wait for
another
it.
day.
Would be cool, but I don't think they'd be do KOTOR. I don't think they're big enough for KOTOR unless they made like a really neat like indie KOTOR game. But
Plot twist is
but then no one would be happy.
it's the developers of Mario versus Rabbids. All right.
We
Now
saw.
we're gonna move on to our second to last segment because technically I asked you guys questions at the end. And that is our new big releases for this week. Jake,
Yeah.
tradition dictates Roger goes first, but he's not here, so tradition dictates that you will go first
I
this
thought I
time.
always went first.
Maybe you do. I honestly don't remember.
Okay, well, our first release for this week is Cyber Shadow for PC, Xbox, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. In Cyber Shadow, the world has been taken over by synthetic life forms. A desperate plea for help sets Shadow, the hedgehog,
Oh my
on a
god.
journey to uncover what started the path to perpetual ruin, slash through the techno hordes, leap past traps, and nimbly navigate the ruins of Mecha City. Only you can unlock the secrets to your clan's ancient powers in Cyber Shadow, the quintessential ninja action game.
Now, it sounds like you don't know what this game is, but this is like I can't remember. It's either 16 or 32-bit, like kind of Ninja Gaiden-esque game.
This is the one that Wave
Yacht
or
games.
Yacht Club Games is
Yeah,
publishing, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'd seen the trailer for that, and that looks really, really cool.
Dude, it's day one on Game Pass, so if you want to play it, I got you. Like, and it comes out the 26th, so in like 2 hours.
Dude. I'll just buy it on PlayStation 5.
Or yeah, just buy it, like, whatever you want to do. But I'm definitely gonna check it out. It looks awesome.
Like that,
Um,
I love Shovel Knight. I know that Yacht Club Games isn't making this game because they only make one game. Uh,
I feel like it's a seal of approval, though. They're
yeah,
like,
it's
we'll
it's
put our name on this.
it's cool. Like this is the first one they've like big game they've published like this.
I feel like it is.
Because I know they've
Honest,
done some smaller stuff. Like I've seen their name on other things, but this is the first one I've seen that's like been really, really up there
cool
in
looking.
quality.
I agree. Pretty sure.
Hmm.
All right, our next title is Sword of the Necromancer on PC. Help Tama to save Coco using the powers of the forbidden sword of the necromancer. Turn your foes into allies and reach the depths of the necromancer's dungeon. Defeat the guardians to gain enough soul power to bring Coco back from the dead, no matter the cost. I didn't realize Coco was dead. I thought we were saving Coco.
No.
Sounds like we're a little too late to save Coco. Ah, I don't know what that game
Yeah.
is.
Well, it's coming out
Reminds
of
me of
PC.
Crypt of the
Yeah, that's
Necrodancer.
what I was thinking of. Like
I
with the
know it's not though.
no,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure it's not. All right.
All right. So our next title is Olia on PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox. Armed with a legendary harpoon, he and others castaways try to leave this hostile country to return to their homelands. Through adventurous exploration, narration, and razor sharp combat, the player will discover a strange world and its inhabitants, including Olia, an enigmatic lady that Faraday finds himself bound to over time. Inspired by swashbuckling tales and cinematic adventure games, Olia is a story about facing the unknown and adversity.
All right.
That sounds like
Sounds
it could
like
be a Devolver game.
yeah, it looked like a Devolver. It looked weird. So
The next game.
yeah. So our final big release of this week is ReZero Starting Life in Another World, The Prophecy of the Throne, coming out on PC, Switch, and PS4. 1 month after Subaru's life in another world began, an emissary brings news to royal candidate Emilia that the royal selection is postponed. A nun named a Melty Priestess has appeared to defy prophecy as the mysterious sixth candidate seeking the throne. With Melty's arrival casting doubt on each candidate's legitimacy and the witch cult plotting in the shadows, will Subaru be able to protect all those he holds dear? I don't know. This is
This game doesn't look good. I'm
this is
buying.
this is based off that anime you watched, right?
I love this show. I
There
don't
you
know
go.
about this game,
Let me
but
guess. Is it Bandai Namco?
I don't think so.
No.
I think
They usually make
it's Spike Chunsoft.
Oh, okay. They published Danganronpa.
Yeah, it's weird. So it's got like the um visual novel storytelling to like the paper cutouts of the anime
Yeah.
character text, but there's also like little chibi overworld gameplay, and I'm not sure what that is. If that's just
Weird.
from point A to point B for the visual novel.
Hmm. I
But
saw it had like a 60 on Metacritic, so I don't know. That's good. I feel like it's one of those games where it's like, it's a good enough game. if you're a fan of the like world, you're gonna like it. Kind of like with Attack on Titan, like that game. It's like a 60 or 70, but I like Attack on Titan, so I like the game.
The one thing about it, I don't know if they'll be able to like do well is the return from death mechanic that the main character has, which is wherever he dies. I mean, it's kind of set itself up well for a video game, but if he dies, he goes back to a specific checkpoint, like right before or right after the last like major event in the show has happened. Like when he succeeds in a goal, that's like a checkpoint, but he
Hmm.
never knows when those checkpoints are. Um, so when you die, you just go back to some random point. Hopefully, it's at a point where something good has happened in the show, or else it would just make everything kind of suck to watch. So I don't know, but in the game, I'm not sure how they'll translate that, if at all, or if it'll just be kind of just a little side story where they don't really touch upon that.
I'm not sure. It's really hit and miss with anime games, but
Hmm.
you should get it though. I'm interested in it now. You know what? I'll get it.
They have a
No, I won't.
collector's edition.
Oh my god, does it come with a statue?
No, but it comes with
Oh,
pens. It comes with a nice enamel pens and like a
oh.
book and I think a steel book.
Hey, there you go.
So
All right. Well, tradition dictates. Jake, do you have any other questions or discussions that you'd like to have at the end of the show?
there was something I wanted to say this week, but I can't remember it for the life of me. I know I'll remember it as soon as the show's over.
Write it down so we can
Uh,
talk about it next show.
but if I remember it by next week, I will. I will definitely bring it up.
All right. That sounds good. Was this something with Nintendo?
I I honestly don't know. I mean, there was like, oh yeah. That was it. That's what I wanted to bring up. There was talk. I mean, this is just a theory. There's nothing proving it at all. It's just you know something I read that kind of makes sense.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't even remember if this was the original thing or not. But this was also something I did want to bring up. But I think that with Mario 3D All Stars Collection leaving at the end of March, I think that Nintendo is going to make those games available separately
Mm,
on a Nintendo 64, GameCube, or Wii platform.
okay.
That's like kind of similar to the NES or SNES online, or completely separate to where you buy it on individually. I don't know about the case of Fire Emblem because that's already available on its own. Um,
You
or if they're
know,
just gonna merge it into the NES online, and that's the only way to like own it separately.
that's a good theory because it's like this proves that they can put GameCube games and N64 games on there and it runs. Because those are emulated. Like they're just straight emulations. Everyone was bitching about that, but it was also like same point. We should have been like, hey, they're emulating N64 and GameCube games. That's interesting. Huh.
I think that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, that
Um,
would. So if like if you want to own the game, you buy
it,
the game.
and I think that's a what reason why it's limited. It's one to test how well it works, and two also like you don't want to compete with your own online service by having these games available to just buy on off the shelf.
Mm-hmm. All right. I like that. I don't think it'll happen because it's Nintendo, but
Yeah.
fingers crossed that it does happen because that would be really fucking stellar.
Oh yeah. Like I would love that.
Me too. And it's honestly like I don't even think anyone could be mad because like if they do that, you'd be like, oh well, I own it, so I don't have to pay for the subscription. And then if someone wants to play it, you just pay for a subscription for a year, $20. It's
Yeah.
like play the game.
And there has been like rumblings that N64 is going to make it to the online market because they've have the like the iconography that they've done for NES and SNES
Hmm.
on there with the N64 controller like
Uh,
patented. Like
I would
there's
love that. I would
copyrights for
love
it.
it.
With GameCube, like that's very hopeful. I would love it if it happened. I don't know. They're always weird about GameCube stuff. They'll go to Wii. The GameCube is always kind of just like that weird black horse in the family, or
I
black
know.
sheep in the family.
Black Horse.
I mean, yeah. Uh,
uh,
but yeah, I think if Nintendo plays their cards right, that could be a really good opportunity for them to make that situation make a lot more sense. I mean, rest in peace, Mario 35. But other than that, uh,
yeah. All right. I like that theory. I hope it happens, and I hope it's
Me
true.
too.
All right. Well, with that being said, I want to thank you, Jake, for joining me today. Hopefully, Roger can get back on this show next week and
Maybe.
we can have the full crew back again. And then, of course, thank you, audience, for listening, watching, however you get this show. Remember, if you like what we're doing here, please give us a positive rating on whichever podcast service you're listening to. It really helps out a lot. Tell your friends about the podcast too. That helps immensely. Go and check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/that one Andrew. Full recordings of this podcast are posted, and then also all my other videos where they have some wacky thumbnails now, Jake. I don't know if you saw the latest thumbnail I made, but
Yeah,
I'm pretty happy with
that was
myself.
wonderful.
Put Susan in a jet. So I'm learning how to do thumbnails and I got some editing skills that I'm doing this full time. So go check those out. And then, of course, as always, if you would like to support us, we greatly appreciate it. Head over to patreon.com/that one Andrew, where you are supporting not only me, but everyone in the That One Andrew videos. So that's all everyone in the podcast, that's Susan, everyone. So go ahead and do that. We appreciate it greatly. That's it for the podcast. Shut her down. We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.